All right, let's talk about something huge happening in the business world. That massive, high-stakes migration to SAP S/4HANA. It's supposed to be this amazing digital future, right? But it's also a minefield, absolutely littered with stories of projects that have gone catastrophically wrong. Today, we're going to figure out why.
So, you know the deal. That 2027 deadline is breathing down everyone's neck. And in boardrooms everywhere, you can vet leaders are asking the same simple question. Seriously, how hard can a software upgrade actually be? It's just software, right?
Well, as it turns out, it can be hard enough to bring a company to its knees. This isn't just about getting some new features. We're talking about a fundamental rewiring of a company's entire central nervous system. So yeah, let's get into the hidden reasons these things go so sideways.
And that leads us to what you could call the costly upgrade paradox. You've got this mandatory, absolutely critical project that is, at the same time, famous for failing in the most spectacular, budget-destroying ways. And the reason? It's because this is never, ever just a software update. It's a full-on business transformation hiding in plain sight.
To really get this, we've got to look at the symptoms first. When you read the postmortems on failed projects, the same three culprits show up again and again. I like to call them the silent killers. These are the classic blunders companies make when they think they can just drag their old baggage into this new world. First up, the flawed blueprint. This is the digital foundation of your company, how you structure things like company codes and profit centers. And here's the scary part. Once you set this blueprint and start running transactions on it, changing it is, well, it's almost impossible without taking on massive risk and cost. Get this wrong from the start, and you've basically just put a permanent cap on your company's future growth and flexibility. Next, we've got poisoned data. We're talking about your master data, all that core info about your customers, your suppliers, your products. If that data's a mess, if it's duplicated, inconsistent, or just flat out wrong, it acts like a slow-acting poison. It silently infects every single transaction, which then leads to operational chaos, reports that make no sense, and, you guessed it, terrible business decisions. And the third killer? Brittle rules. This is what happens after years and years of piling on custom code and thousands of add-ons, all designed to force your old, clunky processes to work. The great, painful irony here is that when you move all that complexity over, your shiny new system becomes just as rigid and inflexible as the old one. It completely wipes out the benefits of upgrading and just shackles you to the past. And this table really shows you the real-world pain of getting that blueprint wrong. It's a domino effect. See here? A mistake in your company code setup? Boom. You're filing incorrect legal reports and you can't even close your books on time. Or look at the profit center. Mess that up? You literally can no longer tell which parts of your business are actually making money. This isn't just an IT headache, it's a core business failure. Okay, so those are the classic mistakes, the usual suspects. But to really understand why they are so much more dangerous now, we need to pop the hood and look at the system's new reality. Because S/4HANA isn't just a prettier version of the old system. It is a complete architectural revolution. Which, of course, brings up the million-dollar question. What actually changed? Why are these old problems that we've known about for years, bad data, bad structure, why are they suddenly so much more venomous in the S/4HANA world? The answer comes down to two words: universal journal. In this new system, all of your financial and management accounting data, every single number that matters to your business, now lives together in one single gigantic table for the first time ever. It's basically the financial brain and nervous system of the entire company, all in one place. And this slide just illustrates that shift perfectly. Before, on the left, you had all your data in separate silos. Financials were over here, management data was over there. You had to spend tons of time trying to match them up, and it was slow and full of errors. Now, with S/4HANA, it's one single source of truth. Everything is instantly and permanently linked together. But that total integration creates this powerful and frankly terrifying new risk. Let's call it instant contagion. See, because everything is connected, a single little configuration mistake or one piece of bad data doesn't just cause a small local problem anymore. No, it immediately ripples across the entire system's integrity, corrupting everything it touches in real time. The stakes are just exponentially higher now. Okay, so we've seen the classic mistakes, and we know why the new architecture makes them so much more dangerous. But that's only seeing the problem. Now we get to the really important part. What is the true foundation for a successful project? Well, it comes down to what we call your 4 pillars of profit. So if just dodging those silent killers isn't enough to guarantee success, what is? What is the real secret? What's the bedrock that a successful project absolutely has to be built on? It all comes down to these four interconnected pillars. Your ledger design, which is basically how you set your accounting rules, your currency architecture, which is how you handle money globally, your material ledger, which defines the value of the stuff you actually sell, and finally, your profitability model, which is how you figure out what's actually making you money. And this right here is the absolute most crucial point. These are not just technical settings that you can hand off to the IT department. No way. These four pillars are the fundamental building blocks of your company's financial DNA. They are strategic business decisions that define what value even means for your company. Which leads us to the single most important, mind-blowing revelation about this whole thing. An S/4HANA migration is not an IT project. It is a project to fundamentally reconstruct what your company calls profit. And when you think about it that way, everything changes. This isn't some upgrade you just have to suffer through. It's a once-in-a-generation opportunity. It's a business reformation, a chance to hit pause and totally redefine how your company measures and creates value. That's why the biggest mistake you can possibly make is to just lift and shift all your old, broken, overly customized processes onto this powerful new platform. The entire point is to do the exact opposite, to simplify your business, to standardize your processes, and to bring crystal clarity to your operations. This all leads you to a very practical, very big choice. The greenfield approach means you start fresh, build from scratch. The big risk there is that business units fight the change and you just end up recreating the old mess anyway. Then there's the brownfield approach. It's faster, you carry over your old settings, but you risk bringing all that technical debt and poison data with you, essentially dooming the project from day one. So let's just end by circling back to that core idea one last time. The true essence of this entire journey, the one thing that really separates the successes from the failures, is understanding that this is your chance to fundamentally redefine how your company measures its own profit.
And that leaves us with one final thought. The most important question you can ask has nothing to do with technology or timelines or consultants. It's a simple strategic question for the leaders of the business. In this new digital world, how will you define profit?